Well, hello.
Yes, hi, hello.
Yes, hi. This is Mutual Friend Podcast.
I'm Ian.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Darin.
Grab everything that isn't bolted down. I'll keep an eye out for Fallen. Fascinating. This place is littered with pre-Golden Age artifacts.
Anyways.
Can we talk about the word anyway?
Scrum
And how some people
Say
pluralize
I know.
unnecessarily.
The way that I now when I type out anyways, I always type out anyway because of you guys.
Sorry.
There was something in one of our Facebook feeds that somebody freaked out. I don't remember who. Not in a serious way, but in a fake way.
Well,
Anyway, not anyway.
No, here's
It's probably me.
And now I'm very self-conscious of saying
It's
anyways.
one thing to say it because it's very common and it's a flow of conversation. It's another thing entirely to purposefully write it wrong.
I think Dave
Oh,
left
I
his
never
water
purposely
bottle.
read it. That's just how I thought it was written. I thought it was anyways.
I think Dave left his water bottle.
It's dead to him. Doesn't matter. Doesn't
Ours
have water in it.
It's the Olympic water bottle.
Yeah, he's not doing a Chariots of Fire. He'll be fine.
Okay.
We can get it.
Yeah.
Give it to him at the end of the Olympics.
No, I have that same problem. People would say anyway or forwards.
Maybe it was everybody except for me. It's probably everybody.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Moving
what else do we have
forwards?
to talk about?
Moving forwards.
Ugh. So,
I wonder, moving on, if you boil that down, doesn't really make sense, I guess.
moving on.
No, technically you're moving
No,
forward.
I'm saying moving on.
That doesn't really make sense anymore. Anyways.
Listen, we still say hang up a phone. The item the icon to save stuff on the computer is still a little floppy disk. We can still say moving on.
Is it still floppy disk to save
Yeah.
things?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Think about that.
Matt, did you bring any topics for this week to talk about?
Genetic engineering.
Okay, Dino DNA.
Life finds a wire.
So,
Nobody... I'm sorry. Nobody gets that. I do that all the time at work, and everyone's like, "What are you
did I
doing?"
send you the remix video of that?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Did you really want to talk about genetic
We don't
engineering?
have to.
So
I watched a
can we-
YouTube video on it. It was fascinating.
okay. Can we sidetrack this for just a minute?
Yes.
So No Man's Sky just recently came out.
That was one thing I was actually want to talk about. Go on.
Okay, so I haven't bought it yet.
As soon as
I
Jack
would.
gets out of my crotch. Hey, Jack.
Oh my
I'm
God!
sorry. I won't laugh so loud.
Jack's a dog, by the way. Jack's Ian's dog.
And he's in your crotch.
Well, not anymore.
And Darren's not wearing pants.
Well, I haven't had any action in a while, Matt. What do you want from me?
Whatever. Never mind.
He wants a lot from you. So
Okay.
Just the tip.
No
so
Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky just recently came out. So I haven't bought it yet, but I've been reading a lot of the speculation
Real quick,
online. Yep.
I don't know what this is. I'm going to guess, judging by the title, it's a game where people move about on the clouds.
Okay, so this is actually going to be a fun game. What do you think you do in No Man's Sky?
It's probably something like Pokemon Go on steroids, but in the clouds.
Okay.
Because you're hopping around, right?
Okay.
Cloud to cloud, as the nomads did.
So do you think it's a single player game?
No man's.
Oh,
Sky.
not nomad.
Oh no.
No man's.
Oh,
No man's.
no
Sky.
man's sky.
You can't take the sky from me.
Oh.
That's a
They can. By the way, they can take the sky from you because they will totally cancel your favorite show.
yeah.
Wait, is this a show or a game?
No, it's a now we're confusing. It's a game.
Okay.
Now we're confusing
No
them.
Man's
Yeah,
Sky.
But No Man's Sky, and he just referenced a quote to give you an idea.
What was the quote again?
Well, you can't take the sky from me, which is a quote from Firefly's theme song.
Which is probably where they partially got this name from, I think. It would make sense to
Could it
me
be a
that they pulled...
post-apocalyptic game?
No.
Could it be
I shouldn't say no. I should just let you guess what it is.
Do you battle gods?
Don't we all? No,
I
no,
do.
you don't battle gods.
I got nothing then.
Just demons.
Am I still supposed to say no?
Just demons.
you
So
battle
demons? You battle
no,
demons?
No.
Oh.
We battle our own demons.
That's what I was getting at.
For instance, love to eat things.
So No Man's Sky is a game where you start off on a planet in a universe which is supposed to be as equally as expansive as our own.
Sure.
So, I mean, like, within
there's
reason.
like
I mean,
17 quadrillion planets.
Yeah.
Or galaxies even, or
something. I really, that's kind of goes back and forth for me. I don't exactly know where that falls. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you start on a planet, and in this galaxy universe that is very expansive, and there was a couple of things that they promised in the game that have apparently come out as not in the game, and so
what exactly? So I've been playing the game now.
Okay,
I bought
so you
the
actually
game
have it
last week. I have my own planet in my own solar system.
Mm-hmm. What did you name it?
I think it was already called New Davi Padla, and so I named it New Darin Padla. I just changed a couple of letters around. So you start on a planet, your ship is all broke up, and you have a gun that you can use to kill wildlife or destroy rocks. So you're basically just like a giant capitalist party, just mulching your way through whatever planet you find. You fix your ship, and you can scan things, and as you scan things, they maybe have never seen before by anybody in the game. So the whole game is linked. All 40 million people who own PS4s who are playing this game, and if it's eventually released, is it on
PC's
computer
out
now?
now, yep.
And it's up and running?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So they're all playing the same game, right? So you discover something. If Ian somehow wandered across my planet, which I'm going to go ahead and say is probably less likely than winning a Powerball.
So possibly, yes, but
wandering across my planet.
Well, right, but so far 2 players have met.
Yeah,
in the same right. So
we're doing air quotes.
Yeah.
Folks.
So this game is not multiplayer, which is something that they kind of build it as somewhat. They also said that it isn't multiplayer, but they kind of have hinted at the fact that you will be able to see other players if you ran into them, which they said would really be nearly impossible to find because of how big the universe is.
And unfortunately, because of things like Twitch, it happened almost immediately.
Right. Within the first 24 hours the game was out, 2 players had found that they were in the same area and went basically to the same planet and were on the same space station, and they could not see each other, even though they were standing in the same place. They logged out of the game, logged back in to make sure they were in the same server instance or whatever they were
like
trying
Stranger
to.
Things.
Yeah, so it was kind of a weird, like, parallel universe type thing where everything that they had discovered was named by the other person or vice versa, but they couldn't see that person in the game.
There's some pretty funny memes running around about like what your player might look like in No Man's Sky.
I haven't seen those.
Yeah. So the game is all about discovering things, and then you eventually journey towards the center of the universe, which is supposed to take a while. But it can take even longer if you don't really care about that and just want to go and discover planets and name things and whatnot. And upgrade the inventory in your ship and your suit. Murder countless types of wildlife on whatever planet you're lucky enough to land on. And you pilot like your ship. So you get into your ship, and it actually does a little thing of you getting into your ship, and then you fly up into the atmosphere, and you have to break through the outer atmosphere, and then you're in space. And you can either, go kind of fast. So, like, the first time I broke free and I made it to the into space, I saw another planet. And on my TV, I have a fairly large TV. It's like a 65-inch TV. There was a planet, and it was probably about the size of a basketball. Maybe a little smaller on my TV. And so I just pointed my ship at it, and I started going. and it told me I was going to get there in a week. And I'm like, oh. So this is what this game is? I spent 3 hours getting off this planet. Now it's going to be a week before I can get to another planet just so I can go shoot squirrel bears in the face. They're very cute. So then the game's not really all that good about telling you what you're supposed to do, which I think is good because you have to kind of discover things. Unfortunately, you also have to discover like what button combinations do, and maybe it does or doesn't tell you that. And so then I was doing like a boost, and so then it was like, oh, okay, I'll get there in 3 hours. That's better than a week, I guess. Wrap some rubber bands around, leave, sleep, something like that. And then I saw, then it did a little thing where it's like hold down boost and circle, and then you do like your pulse thing. So now I've got 3 different speeds just in my ship before I even do a hyperdrive. And then it still took me 12 minutes to get there. And I did. I flew at this globe on my TV for 12 minutes and pretended like I was having a good time.
So that seems like something there should be an autopilot setting for.
Well, and once you have hyperdrive, I think that changes things a lot.
Okay, it makes the travel time faster.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's nothing hyper about it.
Yeah. I suppose if that's your normal speed is 12 minutes for something like that, then yeah, I would hope that it's a couple seconds.
Well, so like here's the deal: if I was in a spaceship and I was in space and I was on Earth and I looked out and I saw a planet, if I saw the moon and I pointed at it and it said you'll be there in 12 minutes, I'd be like, this is amazing. But in a video game, it's like I'm done playing video games now. I'm gonna go out and achieve something. But it was still it was kind of fun to fly up on the planet.
So I've heard comparisons of this game, to Minecraft because of the fact that you're just kind of exploring and breaking apart the environment to construct items, and there's definitely a sense of that there. You don't really build things. Okay. They say that you might be able to eventually, or that's coming. Crafting.
Yeah, but right now it's just you point your gun at a plant or a rock or a stalactite or a stalagmite, and then you shoot it.
Or an animal.
Well, they don't turn into things. They turn into dead stuff.
Oh. So that's kind of interesting. So they don't have like a resource system within the animals to like you don't harvest them for food or anything, or
so, because like I'm playing another game right now called 7 Days to Die, and in that game, it's a post-apocalyptic zombie game, and it's just like Minecraft, where you can basically tear apart anything if you have the right tools, and then you can rebuild it or build something different with it. And like there's deer and pigs, because somehow pigs survive the apocalypse even though all the people are dead or zombies. And when you kill them, you can go up with a knife and then you get fat and bones and meat and leather from them. And then you turn that into stuff like food and bones, shivs.
And belts.
I don't get to make a belt yet.
So I was just thinking, would it be a good zombie movie to just have a zombie movie where all of the pigs became zombies that move really, really fast?
Thanks for the pizza, and I'm gonna leave.
It would be a very what do you call it? A very specific niche movie.
Well, so there's already a movie called Black Sheep.
Isn't that the one?
Black Sheeps.
Isn't Black Sheep? Isn't that the one with David Spade,
Chris Farley? Yeah, there are other. There's a movie.
There's other Black Sheeps.
There's a sheep. It's where it's zombie sheep. There's zombie beavers.
Okay.
Believe it or not, people have already done this.
Yeah, I know. I guess I should have expected that, but I had never heard or seen anything.
If you could do it for super cheap, there's a select market for shit movies like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could make it and probably make some money off
there's
of it.
lots of that stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Man.
All the knockoffs are the same.
You can just that's a deep dark hole to fall down when you start looking at like the grade C or D or F horror movies on Netflix.
Yeah. or any movie with a slightly altered title.
Transmorphers.
Yeah, Transmorphers. There was one for Suicide Squad that I just saw.
Oh yeah, it's the Menace or yeah.
I can't remember something Squad, and it was like it looked so bad, so bad it's not even close to good.
But according to you, it may be as good as Suicide Squad.
Well, I don't know.
So
we're not going to get into that, but so with No Man's Sky, you're enjoying it so far, or?
I think I might be. I think it's kind of like how people will lie and tell you that they like things like coffee and beer.
I love coffee and I love beer.
Yeah, but did you when you started it?
Absolutely not.
No, you started and you're like, oh, this is horrible, but it's supposed to keep me awake. But why would I want to be awake if I have to drink this? I'll accept death. Or like drinking beer is like a lot of beer is it just seems like it's an assault on everything in your mouth, right? But people do it enough that they like it. It's called an acquired taste, which is just a way of saying you lie to yourself enough until you actually believe the shit that you like coffee or you like beer. Or you have to do something where it's like, well, I like a cider beer. And it's like, well, it's not really beer anymore. You're just drinking like really rancid apple cider. Or like I will drink coffee if you put enough shit in it, like enough cream and sugar, so that like a scientist will tell you on a molecular level, this isn't coffee anymore.
I like my proofy coffees, thank you very much.
I think that's what's going to happen with No Man's Sky. I might play it enough where I was like, no, I really am enjoying this. And
like Lost.
Just staring off into the middle of this since you shut your mouth, by the way. I liked Lost.
I liked Lost too, just like I like coffee and beer.
Okay, the third season was a little rocky.
I can't even remember the seasons.
Did you watch Lost?
Intermittently.
That's not a thing.
Well, okay, so I saw an episode here or there. I think I'm killing Darin over here.
Well, okay, so Lost...
having strokes after strokes after strokes.
Bunch of them. I always thought it was going to be the food that would do it. No, so with Lost, it actually did kind of introduce like a big... or reintroduced a story structure into like TV where you actually had to watch every week and pay attention.
I watched for a few weeks consecutively, but it was one of those shows where some other members of my family were really into it and I wasn't as into it. And so, yeah, I would watch it occasionally, but it really wasn't my cup of tea. I don't drink tea.
How old were you when you watched it? Did you watch it live?
I mean, my brother was younger than me. And he liked it.
Hey, is he still younger than you?
Yes.
Just checking.
No, what I'm saying is, how did you watch it on like Netflix or someplace, or did you watch it while it was?
No, we were watching it while it was airing.
Okay.
If I went back and watched it now, I think I would enjoy it, except that I know how it ends.
Was it 2004, 2005? Is that when it started?
I think it stopped 2009. There's 6 seasons.
5 or 6 years. Yeah, 6 seasons.
Yeah,
movie?
I would. Those are.
Yeah.
There are some shows that I would definitely like to go back and watch that I never really got into when they were on the air. Like West Wing is one of those where
Super good.
First 4 seasons of West Wing is just
Amazing.
so good.
yeah, and it's on Netflix now, and I should really watch it. But that show really piqued my interest after. I mean, I'd seen a couple episodes again intermittently, just because my parents liked it or whatever. But then,
it's a very hefty investment because it's 22 or 24 episodes, and they're all 40 to an hour.
And you have to watch them.
Yeah,
right. You can't be doing something else.
Like every piece of dialogue is important,
right?
And great.
And great.
Well, and after watching Newsroom, I felt like I could watch more of Aaron Sorkin's stuff and probably enjoy most of it. Yeah. So I definitely should go back and watch those. So
Studio 60 on Sunset Strip is I don't think it's as good as the first 4 seasons of West Wing. Did you watch it?
Studio
6.
No,
okay, so you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yep.
Dialogue is so good though, and he makes you care about characters like immediately. Gets great casting. Even Sports Night, like I don't know anything about sports. Like I'm the guy who's like, oh, throw the sports ball and win the goal teams. Like I joke about it because I know just enough to know that I don't know anything. You can watch Sports Night, and it's all about a sports network, news network, and it's fascinating. Instantly fascinating.
Yeah, cool.
The guy's a crazy genius.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I really enjoyed Newsroom, so I'll have to check out some of this other stuff. But we're getting further and further from our original topic, which I don't remember if we're even.
We didn't have a topic.
So you started saying that you're not sure you're enjoying No Man's Sky because it could be just kind of an acquired taste, so that you're just continuing to play it because it's there.
Yeah. It's a very.
Is there something that they could do to the game right now that would make it more interesting?
They could put a game in it.
Okay,
that would be
so
cool.
Right now it's lacking a lot of is it story content or what's it?
No. So we didn't. I'm sorry, we didn't really get to talk about this. You don't know what's going on in this universe, but you know that there's like past species and whatnot that aren't around anymore. So you can analyze these monoliths, and you'll eventually learn words in this language. And then when you go and talk to other aliens, the conversations slowly become more readable as you learn more words. That's cool. So there is something, and the whole journey to the center of the universe or whatever, that's cool.
Yeah. Which I guess they made harder because someone got a leaked copy of the game and was able to get there within 30 hours. And so when patch...
But then that person died because they hadn't slept.
Well, no, I mean, within 30 hours of game time. But they actually, I guess, patched it day one to increase that distance.
Pretty big day one patch.
And then they also... the resource that guy was using to exploit to get faster upgrades... I guess he was just trading something really easily to get a lot of money really quickly.
Did anyone ever play it?
They patched that out. So.
Like Drug War or Gazillionaire or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
It's commodities games where you buy and sell high and low and whatnot. Yeah. Every star station or space station you get to, there'll be a person who sells you stuff. And there's a little thing that tells you, oh, this is how much it usually sells for, so you can gauge whether or not it's low or it's high.
Okay.
And then there are just ships that are constantly docking in the space station, and you walk up and you just say, hey, buy this. And then if they'll buy it at a higher amount, you can just stay in the space station and just buy, and it's like stock market.
Okay. Yeah, so you can spend a lot of time there if you wanted to.
If you wanted to.
It's not much of a game, but if you wanted to.
I'd rather watch Trading Places. Have you ever seen Trading Places?
No.
Put it on your list.
Okay. So if there was one thing they could add that would that being more specific than just a game. What feature do you feel like would be most desirable? Either actual plot to engage you to go somewhere, or
so something that I would want to do is be able to build things like create a world, but that's kind of the opposite of what the game's supposed to be, because you're supposed to travel from planet to planet.
Well, and as I understand it, they're going to put in building bases or something.
And I heard something like you might be able to get freighters.
Okay, yeah, bigger ships.
Oh, yep. Space trains.
I know what I would want in the game: a better inventory management system, because it's the worst.
So I've heard it's somewhat like Destiny's. Is it clunkier, better?
Well, so
you've played Destiny, right?
I have.
Okay.
It's like Destiny in the way it looks.
Okay.
But in Destiny, you play a person who can carry pistols, shotguns, and rocket launchers and assault rifles.
Right.
Right? So that's all you're really expected to carry.
Right.
And then everything else is just like stuff you strap to your face, or like maybe different kinds of tiny ships or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there isn't a lot of inventory management.
Right.
It fills up because you kill things and then they give you weapons and you're like, oh, this weapon's last week's business, and you throw it away or whatever. But this game isn't like that. This game, the planet's covered in all of the, like, a bunch of different elements. So you'll look at something that's like, this is iron. And I'm like, oh, I bet you make things out of iron, so I'll take this. And you take it, and now it's yours, and it's occupying one or several... Oh, that wasn't me. One or several... No one can hear this anyways. Hi, how's everyone doing? Are we enjoying the show so far? It just...
Silence your iPlate.
I'm working on it. I'm just going to eat something off of it later. Your inventory fills up really quick, and you don't have a lot of inventory spots on yourself or on your ship, which is stupid because you have a ship and you can put things in it. I can see it, right?
So is it like a comparable inventory size between the two, or is it actually larger on your ship?
Your ship's like 4 spaces larger than your body.
That seems crazy.
And not only is that crazy, but like, so you'll see like this giant mountain of carbon, and you're like, carbon. Okay, I want that. And so you break it down, and then it just goes into you, and you can carry 250 in one spot on your person or 500 in a spot on a ship. So you can carry more on your ship.
Okay.
Right? So you have 500 carbon, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I know that it was something about the size of a 2-story house when I started it, and now it's on me.
Right.
Or I can pick up these things that are like little tradable items, and one of them's like, this is a card, and it's worth 12,000 thingies. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure that's good. And that one card
takes up a whole inventory space. Right.
And you can't stack the cards.
Oh.
Like, I've seen decks of cards. Like, you can fit 52 of them right in a little box.
And it can go in your pocket.
You can go in your pocket.
And on a real person.
On a real person. People even have them in prison.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, this is a very doable. So it doesn't make any sense that the game was like, you can have 500 plutonium or one stick.
Yeah, so I guess that would be really frustrating to have the inventory be not making a whole lot of sense, and also...
And you don't know what things do yet, because, again, the game doesn't...
Sure.
It's not like you open it up and it's like, this can be used for these things.
Right.
So, like, I have a friend who was playing and he saw a bunch of gold. And so he's like, gold. Gold is always important.
Mm-hmm.
So he melts the gold down, and now it's on him, and he's been carrying it around since day one, and he hasn't found a thing to do with it. And when he tries to sell it, it's like, he's like, I feel like I should be getting more for a mountain of gold than this. And so it's frustrating, especially if you hoard stuff.
Okay.
Because you can't.
Yeah, well, it seems especially frustrating if there's nowhere for you to stash it, right? Like if you had a stash that you could set up on a starship or something that's orbiting a planet and put your items there in a stash you could pay for or something, that seems like it would be more worthwhile. Especially if you could, 'cause as I understand it, you can beam things back to your ship. Is that correct? So if you could beam things back to your ship, and then when you're at your ship, if you could beam them to a spaceship or something that's orbiting your planet, that would be really convenient. And I feel like that would make, alleviate some of that.
And it's very likely that all of that is coming.
Right. It sounds like there are a lot of pieces of content they have planned for the game, and they just haven't, like most games, or I shouldn't say most games, like a number of games now, they will release with some of the feature set missing, and they have plans to either release them as DLC, which is normally a paid content thing, or release them as free updates as the game is out for longer.
And this is a relatively small studio. I think it's only like 20 or 30 people.
That is true, and it is their first. I don't know what I would call it, like a AAA title, but it is one of those big...
I think it is.
Yeah, and for the number of players that bought it on day one, I would agree that it is a AAA title.
And it's a very unique... some of the graphics are incredibly basic, but other parts of it, when you're just looking out on a landscape and seeing everything that's going on, I think that the game is interesting and special and important, and it has very new elements in it. It's just...
Did you turn me off?
It's just not much of a game right now.
Yeah, yep. And I that's one of the reasons why I haven't bought it yet, is because that's what I've been hearing. I do want to try it because it seems like I've wanted a space exploration game for a long time.
Well, is Star Citizen a space exploration game?
Not one that will run on my computer. So there is that issue of I want a game that I'm capable of running at a decent frame rate on my computer. I have tried Star Citizen. I think I may have paid for a ship at one point just to get into the kind of early release thing. I would like to see some other games like that released, and maybe supporting No Man's Sky is a way to do that, but I don't know. There are quite a few, actually. I think there are quite a few more recent games that are coming out like that. Some of them are free to play, which I don't necessarily think is the way to go for a game like that. It becomes difficult to...
What's Elite Dangerous?
Yeah, Elite Dangerous is one of them. I think that's one of the free to play ones where it's like you can pay for content within the game and buy ships or whatever, and that's kind of how Star Citizen is as well. But
Matt, do they ever make you pay for content in your baseball games?
I haven't played one in over a year. Or a year.
I'm surprised you're still conscious.
Oh, I think you could. You could probably buy new players or something. I don't know. I don't buy shit.
Is Sammy Sosa still playing baseball?
No. I don't know. He may be dead.
Just checking.